Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Steve. And you're watching Comics TV.
Hi, I'm Tommy Gunn.
Susie Owen.
Voodoo. Jacquelino. You're watching Comics TV.
Spider-Man, Superman, they're all coming right to you. Venom, Bud, Archie too, they will all be here for you on Comics TV. Comics TV. Fantasy and enemy, what's it gonna be now? Alternative and mainstream too, here every week for you on Comics TV. Comics TV.
Welcome to another great edition of Comics TV. Today's great reviews include
Preacher, Nikki Shadow, and some foreign comics.
foreign comics, Voodoo, Predator vs. Judge Dredd, and Xena.
We'll feature Orlando Ruiz in our interview section.
There's also Check Your Comic Q and a dual review of Hercules from Acclaim. So there's going to be a lot of great stuff. Hercules. Alrighty, I think Steve likes that one. So there's going to be a lot of great stuff today, so stay tuned. Let's kick off today's show with Steve's very first comic book review.
My very first comic book review this week is Xena, the Warrior Princess vs. the Dead Warriors. Sounds familiar. Number 0 from Topps Comics, $2.95. Writer is Robert Tappert, and artist is John Schuling. Xena and Gabrielle must face an army of undead. When Gabrielle is taken, she has to fight Thorius, I believe that's how they pronounce the name, a huge dragon that collects souls with magic. The only way to get Gabrielle's soul back is to defeat this very large dragon. But to get there, she has to go through chambers of death. The writing in this one was excellent. There was a lot of excitement right from page 1 right up to the last page. Very colorful, very explosive on the pages. The art, a lot of detail, a lot of small little details that you see in the background, not only in the picture. Anything special about this book? Not really, other than it's a number 0 and everybody's going to want to run out and buy it like I did for being a number 0. But rating on this one is a hot pick it up. I really enjoyed it.
You ran out to buy that because it was number 0.
Had to run out and buy it because it was number 0. And also that...
Number 0, not the number 0.
Oh, that's my honey.
Topping the comics news this week, the top 10 black and white comics that shipped in November were Spider-Man manga number 1, The Tick number 2, Strangers in Paradise number 3, Bone number 29 is number 4. Number 5 was Oh My God is Special. Number 6 is Ranma 1/2. 7, Sergio Aragón is Louder Than Words. 8, Poison Elves. 9, Elf Quest. And 10, Cerebus number 2/23.
According to Zen Entertainment, that Event Comics, Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti are finally in talks to package several books from Marvel. A la Heroes Reborn, except these titles will take place in current Marvel and have the blessings of Marvel editors. As a part of the arrangement, filmmaker fan Kevin Smith, Chasing Amy, is rumored to take over the writer of Daredevil.
He's going to take over Daredevil? He's going to become Daredevil?
He's going to become Daredevil. He's going to poke himself in the eye so he's blind and get sonar and become Daredevil.
In other event news, the Ash animated feature film set up at DreamWorks SKG is expected to attract a director soon, and rumor has it that none other than Akira artist-director Katsuhiro Otomo will be the director. And as Steve just showed you that Ash toy, we'll tell you a little bit more about that later on. He's going to show you his Ash. So stay tuned for more comics news later in today's
Told you I'm not showing anybody my Ash.
Well, you're going to today.
Okay.
DC Vertigo has have come out with a new Preacher. They have a new Preacher comic coming out, actually, December 17th, titled Cassidy, Blood, and Whiskey. It's written by Garth Ennis with art by Steve Dillon. I haven't read a Preacher comic in at least a year, maybe 2 years, I'm not quite sure. The basic story is Cassidy runs into another vampire. But this guy is not just any vampire. He believes the whole vampire folklore and shtick. He plays it up to the hilt. He lives in a coffin. He drinks blood, dresses and acts like a vampire. He's got a bunch of vampire groupies that want him to suck their blood, or it's bizarre. When Cassidy sees this, he takes it upon himself to set his undead brethren straight. When that doesn't work, he does the next best thing. But I'm not going to tell you what it is. You're going to have to read the comic to find out, especially since it's not even in stores yet. This is a great mature reader's comic. I enjoyed it from page 1 right to page 48. It was a quick, smooth read. The art is excellent. It fits this gritty type story perfect. Ennis is doing a great job with Preacher. I love the story, and I give it a steamy COMX-TV hot.
Still coming up, dual review of Hercules. And next, an interview with Orlando Ruiz.
But first, let's check your Comic Q. What do you know about comics?
Hey, kiddies. This week's Comic Q comes courtesy of me and Mike, not Jim, our Simpsons folklore legend. In the book Spawn, why was Angela put on Earth? Think about it.
Very good. Why was she put on Earth? Oh, this week we bring you a chat with Orlando Ruiz. This was an interview from the Chicago Comic Con, the Wizard Chicago Comic Con. Pretty good interview, as most of these have been. When we return, Steve will delight you with another interesting comic book review. Let's go there. Okay, so how about if you tell us who you are and on what you're working on here, why you're here?
My name is Orlando J. Ruiz, publisher of Caribbean Titans. We're a very small company. We're trying to get off the ground. It's our first Comic-Con, so we're trying to establish ourselves. We're trying to recruit people, artists, thinkers, and writers. Our basis is multiculturalism. We're trying to explore different genres. We're really looking for strong storytelling to try to reach people out there who are probably ignored by, the classic TNA stuff, basic superhero. We have 3 books coming out in '97 about Russian assassins, African vampires, and Latino superheroes. So
there you go.
We're trying to establish ourselves, trying to, put a little variety.
Really?
We're hoping to get off the ground. Hopefully by next year at the Comic-Con, we'll already be an established name. You'll actually know who Caribbean Titans are.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do.
That's
Small
great.
company, but we're trying to make a lot of noise
Yeah.
in the comic book industry.
That's a good little twist on things. Are you involved in this book at all?
Yes, we're trying to establish a conglomeration of small companies. Caribbean Titans is associated with Anarchy Bridgeworks, which produce Nocturne. Okay, we're associated with Infinity, which will have Infinity 1, published in the winter of '97, and Strictly Underground, which came out with their own book, The Huntsman #1. Hopefully, we'll try to establish that conglomeration and bring out. Hope here, be a part of the new order.
There you go.
Try to add some freshness to the industry. That's what we're trying to do. And like I said, we're trying to get off the ground. So all of you those out there, you're talented, you're young, you're hungry, join Caribbean Titans. Look for me, Orlando Ruiz. I'm the publisher. I'm small, but hopefully you'll get to know me a little bit better.
There you go.
That's what I'm looking for.
All right, great. Well, good luck.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Of course, most of the viewers watching us have no idea what song that's from, but that's from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Isn't that in reruns anywhere?
Yes, it is on FX or that TV show or whatever it is. It is on.
It was a TV show.
Yes. My next review is Voodoo #1, $2.50 from Image Comics. Now, I haven't done an Image comic in a while, so I took another shot at doing one. Writer is Alan Moore, artist is Mike Lopez, and the inker is Edwin Rozelle. Voodoo becomes a stripper, which is very unusual. She's out to investigate a lost friend named Angel, who was also a stripper. So she goes into this little town in California, becomes a stripper at the Midnight Lounge, which is the place for strippers. Papa Adeban and Carrie Four take her under her wing. Carrie 4 is like a sleazeball that picks her up at the bus terminal, says, hey, honey, how you doing? You know, you got a place to stay, and she said she's an exotic dancer, takes her over. Well, turns out Papa Atabon is a shaman for evil spirits.
Oh, nice.
And they're trying to, how can I put this? Sacrifice Voodoo to the evil spirits. Voodoo does not know this yet. Angel was apparently sacrificed. The writing in this one was excellent. It was well written, very exciting. The art was very, very well drawn. It had an image look and it also had a manga look to it really well. Special, I've never seen a main character as a stripper, really. It was a change of pace. It was something unusual. I enjoyed it. The rating on this one, I give it a hot. It was a very good read for $2.50, which is under the $2.95 cover price of most books. It was well worth it. It was 48 pages. Pick it up.
48 pages. It's a big one, huh?
It's a big book.
Is there a lot of story in it?
A lot of story. No, hardly any ads.
Excellent.
Yes.
Makes it worthwhile.
Makes it well worth the while.
Well, my next book is called Nikki Shadow. It's from Relentless Comics. Issues number 0, 1, and 2 are what I'm reviewing today. Each issue is 32 pages. This is a futuristic cyberpunk tale set in the year 2061. Nikki is the main character in a gang of street punks. His nickname is Shadow because he can get past any security system without being seen. Many of these cyberpunks also have some interesting cyber features. Like Nikki, he's got a Wolverine-like claws that extend from his fingers upon will. Another one named Blackout can plug computers into his eye socket and read what's on them. There's some different concepts in here, something a little different. What about the book, you might ask? Well, the art is pretty nice. It has a cyberpunk feel to it. The story, to this point, is drawn out. You meet the characters that break into Hex Corp, a big corporation, and they steal some information. Unfortunately for Nikki, he was overheard talking about it, and Hex Corp is after his butt. By the end of the second issue, he appears to be free. Is it worth reading? Well, I finished it. It wasn't a quick read. It dragged a bit. It was okay, but I didn't get into it. It's not a book I'd run out and get. But it was what? But it was. Well, that was wrong. It's not a book I'd go out and get. Maybe I'm just not into these sci-fi comics. I wasn't thrilled with it. I have to pass on Nikki Shadow. It's not hot.
But it was!
I don't know. So I added a couple.
But it was!
I added a couple extra words to my review.
Don't forget, you can write COMX-TV at P.O. Box 220, Buffalo, New York, 14225, or email us at COMXTV@localnet.com.
And now, on to Mr. Steve and another flamboyant comic book review.
Another flamboyant comic book review. Okay.
Not a flaming buoy.
Oh, it's a flaming carrot. Okay, my next flamboyant comic book review is Predator vs. Judge Dredd from Dark Horse Comics, number 1 and 2 of 3. It's $2.50. They're also 45 cents cheaper. Writer is John Wagner. Art is by El Cantina with no last name, so her parents must have hated her.
Wow. El Cantina.
Judge Dredd and Predator have been around now for quite a few years. Well, finally, you knew it was only a matter of time for a crossover. They teamed them up.
El Cantina.
Yeah, well, whatever. Parents hated him. No last name. They are the worst of enemies because Predator knows how to hunt, Judge Dredd knows how to track people down and put him in for violating the law. This is the worst creature he's ever faced. Schaefer, who is a psychic who has showed up in a couple of the Predator books generations ago. This is a new generation of psychics. She's trying to help Judge Dredd get this Predator. Well, the only way she can do it is by drinking the Predator's blood. Really weird situation there. But the judges are dropping left and right. Predator is knocking the heck out of these judges. He's just blowing them apart, getting their heads, hanging them up in ceilings, pulling their spines out. It's unreal. The writing was different. I don't know if Dredd will win or he's going to lose. I don't know if Dredd's going to get killed because a couple main characters in here were killed already. There's a very, very interesting twist. The artwork was excellent. Like most Dark Horse books, it's drawn very, very well drawn. Some of the pictures in there are airbrushed at the end. Special. It's a brand new crossover. Like I said, I've never pictured these two getting together, but it was only a matter of time. Everybody's crossing over to everybody's book. Rating on this one, I give this one a hot, hot, hot. Pick up issue number 1 and 2 at the local shops because you're really going to enjoy it.
Excellent, excellent.
Excellent.
Good to hear that you like that book.
Yes, I really did.
Well, that's good. Was the first one or the second one better? First.
Actually, the second one, there was more judges getting their heads ripped off and spines torn out.
Excellent, excellent. Now here's some interesting news.
Speaking of severed heads.
That's right. Marvel Comics is on the verge of signing a deal to put its comics into all Walmart outlets. Walmart recently banned all comics from its stores because of a non-Marvel comic that depicted a severed head.
Got it.
A spokesmodel for Marvel said that to get into Walmart stores, Marvel has agreed to self-censor its books. Nobody is sure just what this self-censorship will mean or how far it will go.
There's been a lot of talk on the internet regarding this, and basically, with Walmart being the giant retail that it is, retail giant, if Marvel just makes their comics a bit cleaner, they have access to millions of potential buyers.
One theory is that if a kid gets hooked on a comic book by Marvel, he may want to buy back issues, which so off to the local comic book store he goes. This could be a win-win situation for comic stores and maybe even other publishers who will fit Walmart's criteria like Bone or Archie Comics.
No matter how you look at it, Walmart is going to do this no matter what you want, so everyone might as well take advantage of it while they can. Sounds like an interesting concept. Walmart's
Very much so.
The media giant that they are, or they pretty much
Cornering
are
the market on comic books.
West Hampton House is a company that is distributing Actus Tragicus comics out of Israel. That's right, Israel. These are foreign comics, something a little bit different for you today. Actus Tragicus is an Israeli alternative comic book publisher. There are 4 books here. They have all been translated into English, and they are packaged pretty nice. One of the best of the 4 is How to Make a Good Script Great. It's a story with a twist. This guy is buying a book from a street vendor, okay? The vendor goes to get change across the street. Well, on the way back, he gets hit by a truck and dies. So now the guy can't run up to this dead guy and take the money out of his hand. So what does he do? He takes 15 copies of his comic, or his book instead. His girlfriend ends up leaving him when he gets back to Israel. He writes a script for a story based on the street vendor. It's really a good story. There's a couple more titles: Zip, Photo Fix, and Ek Ova Soldier. These 3 are more alternative based than the first one. They're all very interesting. If you want to experience some foreign comics for yourself, these are good ones to start with. To order these books, you can email Robert Boyd at rwboyd, B-O-Y-D, at crocker.com. He'll give you all the details you need.
And now the answer to today's Check Your Comic Q.
And what was the question?
The question was, in the comic book Spawn, why was Angela put on Earth?
Well, she is a spawn killer, right?
She's a spawn hunter.
Spawn hunter.
Yeah, she was put on Earth to kill all spawns. So, what's your answer?
See,
if
I mean,
you knew that, you're a comic book geek.
Yes. Spawn is really a generic kind of term. It just happens that Al Simmons is the main spawn that
Spawn
they deal with
is
in this.
warriors from hell, so she was supposed to basically fight the warriors from hell on Earth.
That's right.
Sort of like Angela and every other comic book hero fighting evils from hell.
That's right, and that happens every day.
Yes, it does.
Eric Larson's Savage Dragon will be meeting Superman in a pair of books scheduled for 1998. The first part, written in pencil by Larson, will bring Superman to Chicago. The second part will bring the Dragon to Metropolis.
Jim Valentino has announced that Image crossover storyline Altered Image is in the works for '98. Valentino will write and possibly lay out 3-issue series. Each issue will present a different altered reality versions of the Imageverse.
Bob Layton is reportedly working on a project for DC that involves the Charlton characters such as Captain Atom, Blue Beetle, and Judo Master.
Judo Master.
Yeah.
But who's Judo Master?
I don't know.
Kurt Busiek is working on an Untold Tales of Spider-Man one-shot for mid-1998. The book, to be illustrated by Neil Volz, will deal with the first meeting of the 2 great Ditko Marvel creations, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
And lastly, Jackie Estrada reports that Baton Lash has signed a film deal for his Wolf and Bird series about...
Eric Estrada's brother?
It may be. Well, no, she's his sister.
Oh, sorry.
About a pair of macabre defending lawyers. Excellent.
Cool.
Wish him a lot of luck there. Now today, on the Dual Review, we are bringing you Hercules. This is a $4.50 Young Reader comic from Acclaim. This is in that digest format, such as some of the other ones.
Tick that I've done and a couple other ones. Turok.
Some other ones.
You know, so.
Basically, what we've got, Steve, I'll tell you about the story. I'll tell you about the format.
This deals with Hercules. Hercules wants God's ship, or I should say Zeus wants to give his son Hercules God's ship. Hercules wants to be a normal human being, and all these pressures come on. He's got Pegasus, he's got arch enemies, he's got his own action figure line which shows up in the story. It's hilarious when they do it. This is a duplication of the movie which was released last summer from Disney, I believe it was. And it was a big hit. I really enjoyed reading this book. I mean, it was funny.
You saw the movie?
I saw the movie and I read the book. Same exact thing. It was funny. It was very funny. I mean, it had its boring points like every book does, you know, at the beginning, you know, when Zeus is talking about how Hercules is his son and how he wants to become a god and his next heir to Mount Olympus and this. But it was a very, very good book. It was interesting. It was a good read. Kids can enjoy it. Adults can enjoy it. Reading it to their kids. I think something like this book should actually be in schools as something to read. As one of the required reading elements. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
The format of this was that it basically, they took digital images right from the animated feature and they placed them in comic book form. And it looks better than most of these that I've seen before, because I've seen where they've done that before.
And blurry
this looks
and
pretty good.
This is really clear.
And what they did was, and then they took the word balloons and stuff and they inserted them where they would go. And they had some text on some pages, more text to like give you some background. I don't know if there was there narration in the movie?
Yeah, there was narration in the movie at the beginning and at the end.
Okay, so that's probably where that would come in. But it was a very nice layout. $4.50 isn't cheap, but
I thought it was worth it.
It's a pretty big book.
Yeah,
and again, when you look at children's books, they're usually not. You don't usually get them for $1.50.
Yeah, you never get books for $1.50. Even when you go to stores and buy coloring books now, they're up to $2.65 and $2.85. I mean, you can't even buy
buying coloring books.
Yeah, well, I forgot to tell you about this past time I have.
But it was a real nice format, set up real nice.
Playing with dolls and coloring.
The story is good. You know, the story's enjoyable.
The story was very
I think most Disney stories are good.
Yeah.
And this one was a good one, and the art was very good because it came right from the animated feature, so there was nothing to do. I mean, they just put it together in a nice package, and I think
it was well worth it. It really was well worth it. I enjoyed it, kept me interested. I even had my son on my lap when I read it, and he just stared. So yeah,
that was. Did you read it to him, or did you just read it?
I was reading it to him, and then he fell asleep, and then I read it to myself. But then I fell asleep. But it was well worth it. I give this one a thumbs up, a hot. Definitely pick it up when you see it in stores.
Yeah,
if you see it in the stores,
I think so.
I haven't seen.
This is one of those ones that may be shipping to regular bookstores, not just comic stores.
Media Play and stuff like that.
So you may be able to find this one elsewhere.
Borders.
So
there's your plugs, guys.
Hercules from Acclaim Young Readers. Have to give that a hot.
Got to give it a hot too.
I think it was a good book.
Yep. Couple quick hot things.
Couple things.
Okay. Well, me and Mike attended that show last week in Niagara Falls. That wonderful freezing show that we did. I picked up the Ash action figure. It's not a doll. We got an ongoing fight here with a couple of my friends. These are action figures.
Two versions of this. There's the standard version that Steve is holding.
Which I have, and then there's a version where he raises his hands and a little smoke comes out of his head and his eyes light up. It's really cool, but I didn't want to pay the extra $3 for the other one. But mine's autographed. That's more than a lot of other people have, by Jimmy Palmiotti and Joe Quesada. Autographed to me. That's why I sleep on my bells.
To Uncle Steve. Oh, to Steve. All the best.
This one, hot doll. I have seen this in a couple comic books.
Ash, hot doll.
You like that one? Ash, as you know, is a superhero that's a firefighter offhand. I have seen him in the comic book stores. Pick it up. It's a neat action figure. I think you'll really like it. And we finally have some artwork. Corey, age 11, mailed me a picture of AT-AT, one of the Star Wars land vehicles. Corey, good job.
Excellent.
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 Thank you, Corey.
And you are welcome to submit your artwork for airing on COMX-TV. You may never get it back, so just so you know that up front. And also, make sure you send us your music. I'd like to air that on today's show. I'd like to thank you for tuning in this week. Hope you enjoyed the show. As always, let us know what you think. Email us, write us, stop us on the street, whatever. Come next week, we've got a dual review of Tombstone Blues in an interview with Josh Ellingson. Today's music was Purgatory, The Vampire's Myth by Vlad. This is courtesy of Chaos Comics.
Wow.
And the news was brought to you in part by the Comic Shop News. My name is Mike Rizzo.
And I'm Steve Prisbilla. As we say each and every week, reading is your best investment. So next time you patronize that local comic shop, just to pick up them books me and Mike talked about, tell them you've seen it on COMX-TV.